Well, good evening or good morning. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisol Colquitt, author of Finding True Love Through Online Dating, a Christian Woman's Guide, now available on eBay, Amazon, Ingram's Park, as well as Barnes and Noble. And of course, my website, www.marisolcolquitt. I don't know if you've checked my last video. From my last video, I shared about where we were in Las Vegas. Really had a great time, and I think the previous video also shared that I was in the hospital in Florida on our holiday there, just visiting my family, and I never expected that I'll one day find myself in an ambulance, and let alone spend 2 nights in the hospital. Prior to that, I've never spent a single day or night in hospital. Yes, I've had some procedures done, but it's like maybe 2 hours max. But it was really totally unexpected. But the devil may try to hurt me, the devil may try to attack me, but he will not triumph, because you know what? I'm a child of God. So despite all the attacks, we still had a grand time. There was a trip well worth taking, because I got to spend quality time with my niece. I haven't seen her in 3 years because of COVID and because of all other restrictions. So I was just so happy to be spending time with them. And I'm also happy to share with you that today is the first day that I think I've had 0 episodes. We actually decided to stop all medications because there were so many setbacks with the hospital in Florida about getting my records. So the doctors here in Dallas did not were not able to refill my medications, and we decided to just stop them, because what's the point? There's really no choice anyway. And you know what? The episodes actually got less and less and a lot shorter, and today was the first day that I had 0 episodes. So glory be to God. Only God can do that, and I'm praying for full recovery. So if there's anyone out there who would like to pray for me, please pray for me. Remember me in your prayers, because I really want to be completely free of vertigo and any other episodes or any other health issues. Last night, my husband and I were actually at the cinema. I was not planning to go to the movies last night, but when I saw that The Sound of Freedom, the movie that I've been waiting for the past 4 years, is finally out, I had to go. And you know what? It was so very powerful, very moving. It's like an edge of your seat kind of thriller. It was way better than I expected. I knew that I wanted to see it, but I was not expecting to be wowed. And even my husband, who normally snores at the cinema, he practically watched the whole thing. And I was really blessed when he asked, after we got home, what else can we do? And I said, well, one thing that I can do, I have a platform. This is the YouTube platform. I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have Twitter, I have Truth Social. So I told her I'm gonna use that to promote the movie, and that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. I really just wanted to promote the movie Sound of Freedom. If every one of us, I'm not a mother yet, but we're praying to become parents. But every one of us maybe has a sister, a cousin, a friend. You could be a godmother, or you could be a godfather. Basically, all of us have connections to a child, and it's so important for us to address the issue of child trafficking. So basically, Sound of Freedom is a movie that's really based on the life of Tim Ballard, a Homeland Security agent who gave up his job because he really wanted to rescue sex trafficked children. And this movie is very moving and poignant at the same time, and I really think that it's a movie that is well worth watching. I don't think it's appropriate for children. It's not graphic at all, so you don't have to worry about that. But I really think that it's a very powerful movie. So powerful that it's the number one or the top or highest grossing film at the box office right now. It beat out apparently the woke movie Indiana Jones. I was actually looking forward to watching it, but when I heard that it's a woke movie, so I'm not even gonna support that. Might watch it on TV, but I'm not gonna go to the cinema to pay for it. Okay. And you might be wondering, why do I even have to talk about that? You know what? Because from the movie itself, it's saying, Jim Caviezel was saying God's children are not for sale. And I totally, unequivocally, absolutely agree with Jim Caviezel, the main actor in the movie, who also portrayed Jesus in the Passion of the Christ movie. So, you were wondering maybe why should I even talk about this? Because remember that I mentioned that this is not just about online dating or dating per se or love relationship. It's important for us to discuss social issues like child trafficking or sex trafficking, not just because it's I'm just gonna throw out some statistics that you will also see in the movies. Again, I really encourage you, please watch the movie tonight, tomorrow, this weekend, next week. But make sure that you watch the movie, bring a friend, bring your family, and make sure that you wait until the end for the message, because it's really worth watching. And the United States alone the United States is the number one in the world for sex trafficking. I'm proud to become an American, but I'm very ashamed of the fact that the United States is number one in sex trafficking. And for the praying Christians out there, I really implore you to pray for the U.S. I know that God has great plans for the United States, that He has not forgotten America, and America shall be saved. And in order for us to really impact our nation, one way to do that is to spread the word, raise awareness about this movie, because I really think that it's gonna crush the enemy, the stronghold of the enemy in America, because again, we want to eradicate sex trafficking completely. And as Christians, that should be our main prayer. More than 500,000, 500,000 children a year go missing in the US alone. I don't know what's the statistics worldwide, but that number alone, 500,000 children in the US alone go missing. So please let that sink in. More than 50% of victims are between the ages of 12 and 15. And 25% of child pornography is created by a neighbor or family member. There was a time when I was kind of ministering to a couple of friends who were victims of sexual abuse, and I found out that 90% of sexual victims, not necessarily child trafficking, but sexual abuse, are actually abused by parents, friends, family members, relatives, and neighbors, or even church leaders. So it's not necessarily by strangers, but people that they trust. So and all the more reason that I wanted to talk about this, because some of you, maybe one of you, maybe a number of you watching this right now may have been a victim of sexual abuse, and I wanted to encourage you that God is a God who is able to redeem you. You are not a damaged goods. You are a child of the Most High God. You are a princess. You are a queen. You are a king. So, and again, some people think that sex trafficking or sexual abuse is only applicable to girls. No, boys are victims as well. 1 in 4 boys are victims of sexual abuse, but there's just so much emphasis on girls because it's such a big taboo even now among boys, so they don't want to talk about it. But 1 in 4 boys apparently in America are victims or of sexual abuse. So over 500,000 online sexual predators are active each day. My neighbor could be a sexual predator. Your neighbor could be a sexual predator. You just don't know it. The thing is, they could look like executives. Just remember Epstein. Epstein Island. These are people. These are high rollers. People who went to Epstein Island. You would be surprised. There are people, they're congressmen, I don't even want to name names, but from top to bottom, there is a pervasive spirit, hovering over America, and really need to pray. And that's me preaching to myself too, that I really need to pray more as an intercessor, lifting up these children, because we want to save these children. And I'm pretty sure you would want, I have nephews and nieces. I may not have a child of my own, but I have nephews and nieces. I have friends who have children. I have co-workers who have children. We are all surrounded by children. I'm pretty sure you care for at least one child. Over 80% of child sex crimes begins on social media. Unfortunately, so there's a big tech war going on, raging on, and that's why Jim Caviezel is so passionate about this movie, because he wants to bring down the big tech giants that are protecting these predators. As of 2021, there are 252,000 websites containing images or videos of children sexually abused. I just wanted to remind every one of you there, whether it's your child or your friend's child or your sister's child or anybody's child, please be mindful of what you're posting on social media. I have reminders on my iPhone. I have this album, you can just share it on social media. But I'm very protective of my niece. If I see her in bathing suits, because of course we went to the beach in Florida, I'm not gonna post it. I'm just, because that's how protective I am. She's not my child, but I care about her. I love her. And anybody else, don't post photos of your children in their bathing suits, because there are so many perverts out there. And I know this lady from Croatia, and I really admire her. She posts photos of her children, but you know what? You will never see their faces. And I thought, that's the best way. That's the best thing, So it's really, really important that we rally behind this movie, because I know that it's gonna change. It's a game changer. 4 years I've been waiting for this movie, and I thought it was released, and I just couldn't find it. And I didn't know that it was shut down by Disney. Disney dropped it. Because again, there's so many billionaires. It's $150 billion industry, and apparently it's gonna surpass the drug trade anytime now. So we don't want that to happen. So please, I really want you to watch the movie and tell your friends, tell your families, tell your co-workers. Make sure I told my co-workers, I told my family, I told my brother-in-law. I'm gonna tell as many as possible. I've already posted on Facebook, on all my pages, because I really want to make sure that everybody is aware of this movie, and it's a very powerful tool that we can use to take down the sexual predators. But number one, of course, is prayer. So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out, go watch the movie. And again, if you've been a victim of sexual abuse, let me know, or you don't have to let me know, but I'm praying for you. I want you to remember that God loves you. God chose you. You may or may not believe that there is a devil prowling like a roaring lion, seeking whom it may devour. But it wasn't God. It was the enemy. The devil is real. And the devil is raging in this nation and around the world. It's seeking to destroy. You remember John 10:10, the devil came to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But you know what? Jesus came to give you life, to redeem your life. And there's a future. If you need more encouragement, I would really implore you to check out Joyce Meyer, Miss Joyce Meyer. If you've never heard of her, she's a very powerful woman, very powerful speaker, very powerful motivator, and she's somebody who's been sexually abused by her own father for probably at least 15 years. So she's somebody who can relate to you, and but now she's a thriving minister, impacting millions all over the world. So don't say that because you've been abused, God can never use you. In fact, God uses, the weak, the mild, the meek and mild. Who you think and all. God actually doesn't call the equipped; He equips the called. So don't undermine yourself. And again, I'm preaching to myself. Don't undermine yourself. Because God is able to do exceedingly abundantly beyond what we could ever think or imagine. Again, I'm not even promoting my book. I'm promoting the movie Sound of Freedom. Check it out tonight, tomorrow, next week. Okay? And please share this video if you want. But check it out. Sound of Freedom movie. God bless.